Dice, yeah, ay, ay.
Good day and welcome. I am William, narrator for the FYI I Am Damaged podcast. What if the road to success in your neighbourhood starts with seeing who's missing from the room and deciding to build something for them? In this episode, I'm sitting down with Shannon and Inginia Jackson, co-founders of Camino Al Exito, Project for All, a grassroots non-profit born from noticing Latino and working class families shut out of community resources and personal development spaces. We talk about how they turn that gap into tutoring, yoga, youth leadership, and financial literacy programs, and how mentorship from EGF Accelerator helped them level up their vision, strategy, and impact. This is the FYI I Am Damaged podcast. Now a word from our sponsor, Logan, the strong-minded little elephant.
Meet Logan, the strong-minded little elephant who learns that bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about believing in yourself even when you're scared. In this beautifully illustrated story, friends follow Logan through a colorful jungle as he learns to calm his worries, take deep breaths, and remind himself, I am strong, I am safe, I can do this. It's a story that helps kids, and maybe a few grown-ups too, find courage, mindfulness, and strengthen their hearts. Logan, the strong-minded little elephant, by me, Oscar Luna. Available now at all major retailers and my publisher's bookstore, Milton and Hugo. Because it's up to every parent to show that their child deserves to know that strength starts from within.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of FYI I Am Damaged. I'm joined by Shannon Jackson and Inginia Jackson, the profound leaders of Camino Al Exito, Project for All. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And coming off of your amazing interview on Tiempo for ABC, thank you guys as longstanding friends and how long we've known each other. Thank you guys for blessing me with an interview. And I want to get started with, how did Camino Al Exito come into existence? What were those early creative events and what made you say we need to build this?
Wow.
Well, I have to say that when Camino Al Exito was born, when we noticed a huge service gap in the community, but also Shannon has a story in regards to we were going out there in the community in polling, and we were active in the community events, and we didn't see people like us participating in those communities, right? And then we said, you know what? We need to make sure we can do something where we can integrate the families and we can create access to resources. And that's how Camino Al Exito was born, right? Us seeing the need in our own community.
Absolutely. Right. And as she said, when we're like mapping the place and we just see, what we see, it's like, no, we want to see like color together. We want to see the community look a little different. So that's why we made this bridge.
Awesome.
And also, in addition, I wanted to say that at the beginning, Shannon and I, coming from me, a Latina woman that immigrated to the United States at the age of 14, I was destined to fail. But I broke walls and I graduated from high school, went to a community college and graduated from there, and ended up in Lehman College, and I did my master's in education. And I am a bilingual teacher now. So by me breaking the wall of not knowing English and breaking the poverty cycle within my family, I was able to say I could do this. And Shannon also coming from a very traumatic experiences, from a single mother household, not even knowing his father, we looked at each other once and we said, you know what? We turned out to be all right.
Pretty good, you know?
Coming from
where we came from.
Where we came from. And now we said we need to tell our stories to the youth out there.
Absolutely.
That is, waiting for guidance and directions. And with our story, we could do it. They also could do it as well.
Right.
So,
and that's
I love that, leading by example.
Yes.
What was it like in the beginning? Setting it all up, paperwork, partners, community trust. What came together faster than you guys ever expected?
Well, for us, what came faster than ever, it was one of our main pillars, partnership. So knocking the doors of those community organizations that already existed here in Pauling and asking them to open the door for us, and also sharing the idea of what we envisioned to do with Camino.
Right.
And that was easy for us because they opened the doors. For example, the Pauling Library opened the door to us where we needed to do workshops in Spanish.
Yeah.
And they opened the doors to us. Also, Holy Trinity Church for the food distribution.
Yeah.
They welcome us because we told them we backed up our vision with data. Absolutely. There was not a food distribution in the evenings in this area. And they were able to open the doors so we can host the food distribution. And now we're serving over 106 families weekly.
It's just a beautiful thing, I'm telling you. That's why I said, like, miraculous,
Yeah, I've seen, and then you working with my wife RG to do the women's groups and everything like that. And she would send me pictures of the food distribution, and it was amazing. The lines and all the help you providing to the community of Pauling, and it's something that people should aspire to do and say, hey, let me help the people in my community.
Yeah.
So I really, and you have the action to it, and it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Now, how can you run a successful nonprofit, juggle a family, career, your own sanity? What boundaries or habits have been non-negotiable for you, or is it still a challenge?
Well, you can say, and then I can add.
It's been a bumpy road. But it's been, turbulence in between and things like that, where turbulence of love and connection. But it's been times when it's been hard to really be family oriented or even like in that marriage, space, because life gets in the way of us sometimes, and we want to serve, and sometimes we got to understand that serving is above us. So that's how I look at it.
For me also, I just want to start with gratitude because I have this amazing husband. We were able to really implement all the activities in the community, and we were able to manage, child care. So while I'm out there doing outreach in the community, he was staying home with the baby, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we were able to manage. So working in partnership with your husband or partner is very important, and also being in alignment. So forget about everything else, just alignment within your partner. That's how we are able to keep the fire for Camino on. And I also want to add that investing in ourselves was also another very important thing, because we were able to learn tools that can help us manage all the different areas of our life.
Yeah.
So investing in different retreats that we attended, the community that we belong, like Forgive to Live, gave us the strategies and the tools that we need to manage everything. And it starts with taking care of ourselves, because we cannot serve the community if we're not taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I always stand by, that impacted our life forever.
And our marriage on top of that. It's sometimes, again, marriages are bumpy, but I feel like where we are in the community and the people we have around us keeps us together and strong, and that's why we're able to serve too.
And I love how you guys hold each other up and know that with everything that everyone goes through, it's like, okay, there's something here that the love is there. And then having a passion such as Camino. And it's like, I see that too, because, I can definitely relate to that because, I started my podcast at the same year you started Camino. And, when I found that out, I'm like, oh crap. Remember when you were talking about RG after the interview? I'm like, wait, we started at the same year. And RG's like, yeah, I know. You guys are like, oh, you passionate about the podcast. She's passionate about Camino. It's like, to see that and then see how you guys have cultivated it. And it's just growing and growing. People don't see how that growth needs its time. And you guys have done it amazingly and you handled it amazingly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now, with your current services, food distribution, legal information, the workshops, self defense, and with teens, how has your mission's growth kept pace with the needs of the community?
Well, can you repeat that question once again, please?
Absolutely. How has your mission's growth kept pace with the needs that you see in the community?
I feel that the way we drive our programs is database, is feedback based. So we really do a lot of survey where we encounter many different the community members, right? We ask them, what is it that you want to hear from us?
Right.
What are the resources that you want for us to bring you? And they will basically tell us, and we work based on the data that we gather.
Yeah, so it's all, data driven. Like, for instance, we have WhatsApp group of a community of like 269 people. And that's where everything kind of like flows through, and it's always good news, and people are just happy, So that's how we get everything sustainable, measurable. We get the data down pack, and we get the need out there.
And that's great. You guys don't do it on feel or just on site of, and that data, if someone's in the same position that you're in doing this for their community, where would you recommend that they look for that data so that they can bolster their ability to be supported by government groups, individuals, and things like that?
Well, I will say that the first step is to get involved in your community.
Yeah.
Because based on your involvement, based on the activities that you attend from the library, from the recreational center, that's how you're going to see if there's a service gap within your community. That's how you're going to experience what is it like to be, a Latina woman in Pauling, New York, or what is it like to be a African American male in Pauling. So based on personal experience is that we were able to build Camino. And we do gather data from the community to bring in the workshops and the activities that we have. But the reality is that even walking every afternoon right in the village of Pauling, I saw myself in the teenagers that I saw walking around, and I see it in their eyes. They're lost.
Yeah.
They don't know what they want to do. They're already in 11th grade and they don't even have a plan. They think that based on their situation, that their situation where they are right now defines who they are and who they want to be. Yeah. So we are here to make sure that we unpack that and we let them know that the situation they are in now, that doesn't define who they could be, because look at us. Right. And that's basically how we did outreach. It was just walking in our own community and seeing the teenagers walking up and down, getting next to them, communicating with teachers in the school district.
But it boils down to credible messengers. When we lived it, we experienced it, and not only that, we back a lot of data through the census. New York census. So we can see where poverty is, where it's hit, and we know where it is. We know Poland's here. We be able to reach out to some good farm, guys around, and they give us good leads. And they're like, listen, we know it's here, and we're going to help you guys. So that's how we reach out to most of those.
Well, that's amazing. Now, looking ahead, what future services or programs would you love to create so people listening can picture how their skills or resources might fit in to help you with your mission?
Yeah, I think that I could share how Camino Al Exito, we have a sharp 5 years vision. And then Shannon can share about, um, you can share about how we envision the workforce with the youth. So with Camino, we have a very sharp vision that is a 5 year vision. We want to be the number one community center in the eastern side of Dutchess that has a one-stop shop of resources. You know, like you walking into the community center, you're gonna find services for health insurance, services for legal services. You're gonna find other organizations having office hours within Camino Community Center. And we're going to be the number one community center in Dutchess County.
And I just want to piggyback off that, because who wants to go down 6 blocks to go to one spot down when you got everything? You got your, your health, your legal in one hub. That's just a beautiful thing. So that's our vision.
Yes. And then recently we had a grant from Dyson Foundation that is a capacity grant that helped us invest in a consultant so we can zoom in and identify the core programming of Camino, which is the youth development. Right. And within the youth, we have 2 programs. We have Elevation of Youth After School program, and then we have the High School and Beyond Advisory program. Now, the vision is that to expand and implement a workforce program where we work with the county of Dutchess County and New York State to help facilitate jobs opportunities for teenagers.
Yeah. So that's the goal. And that's it.
And I love how you guys work off of each other, and it's amazing. So to have you guys show how you guys pace with each other and on the same page, and like it's a lovely thing, and it's going to go far because with you backing each other up, like there's no stopping you guys. And I see that. I can't wait to walk into the building when you guys christen a new center, see Camino Al Exito all above the door opening, and you guys have a second home, and that's going to be amazing.
Thank you so much.
How do you guys, as a nonprofit, how do you approach monetary support, grants, foundations, and volunteers that approach you to assist?
Yeah, so thank you for asking that question, because one of the main force of Camino is volunteers. We are a grassroots organization that with a small budget, we're doing big things in the community. Huge. Volunteers, our heart. It's where we stand by. It's why the food distribution is sustainable. Mm-hmm. And the way we were able to gain volunteers is being in the community, sharing our mission, going to different meetings within the community. Yeah. And from this one meeting, I recall that we attended, we got like 10 volunteers. Because they didn't know nothing about Camino. Once we shared what we're doing in the community, everyone wanted to get involved, right?
Vassar College.
Yes, Vassar College. And also we went to another meeting here in Pauling, and we met this one girl. Her name is Lisa, and she connected us with a lot of people within the community. Yeah. So now we have volunteers. We have about 20 volunteers, and it's just a beautiful thing to know that in your own community, there are people that know their purpose and want to give back.
Yeah.
And for Camino to be the platform that is connecting all these hearts to give back on a Thursday evening is just so amazing.
But
Shannon can speak about.
But I want to speak up. I just want to slow you down, because I want everyone to understand that they see the leader, though. They see the leader's heart. And when they saw the leader's heart, they knew they wanted to follow that, because they understood that she was going to get them someplace. So And they did. And now we got this big, that's the backbone of Camino.
The volunteers. Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for them, and they're just warm people and wonderful people.
Yeah. And also within our website, we have a become a volunteer button where people can complete the form and we get it to our email immediately. And also, when it comes to funding, I mean, we have the funding guy here, which is Shannon. He focused on the funding and development of Camino by applying for grants. We do welcome interns. Right now, we have 2 interns from Vassar College.
Yeah.
And talk about a little bit about the grants that we have.
The grants are good. We applied for Berkshire Taconic this year, so for an after-school program. We also going for the Hispanic Heritage Festival. We're not calling it a carnival or none of that. We're calling it a festival now. So we're shifting into that. So we're getting a grant written up at Mid Hudson Art over there in Hudson Valley side. But it's a great thing. And also, I think we did one for Community Foundation too.
Yes, Community Foundation of Hudson Valley. So what has impacted Camino the most is the networking that we're doing.
Yeah.
So through networking with meetings, we're meeting people, right? So we're gaining sponsors. And also we're reaching out to these foundations, local foundations, and letting them know the impact that Camino is doing. We meet with the program director from the grants department. We share our stories and our mission. And they encourage us to apply.
Yeah, but it's just, when you're authentic. It's like they feel it, like it's just you're just different. So we approach it with love and kindness, and we're like, listen, we are the people now, so let's get to it. And they love us.
And that comes, so because we show up with authenticity, that comes with healing.
Right.
So we are not here just because we decided, we want to build a nonprofit.
Right.
A lot of people, they are founders of nonprofit and they're doing the work. However, Camino came to us divinely.
Yes.
It was brought to us and we picked it up.
Mm.
And because our healing journey, we were able to really be ready for it, because not everybody's ready. This is not an easy journey. I mean, when sometimes I ask, like, God, why you chose us to start a nonprofit, not a for-profit business, a nonprofit, where you have to do the work first in order to bring some funding in, right? And I don't question it anymore.
It is, yeah. It's definitely, I was going to say that it's definitely a networking though. It's like, when you meet people, it's great, and then like even like Dyson Foundation, like it was networking, and then they just loved what we were doing, and now we're in.
Yeah. So being authentic, sharing our stories, and that's what really keeps the connection with the people, right?
Yeah.
But we were not able to do this if we didn't start our healing journey. So that was like what I wanted to the message that I want to share, that this type of work, serving, cannot be done if you don't start healing yourself internally.
Absolutely.
It cannot be done authentically, because it just can't. When it comes to managing also your household, your marriage, and then business, it cannot be done with a set of tools that we learned and healing, So I just want to leave, with that.
And switching gears from our standard interview, we have an audience member asking some questions. Can you see what they're asking and see which questions you would love to address?
Well, let me see.
What's that?
Yes.
So I'll start off with one while you guys check the others. What strategic partnerships have amplified your mission the most?
Well, I think that so number one, the corporate sponsorships. So meeting with corporations that can give you bigger sponsorship that has impacted Camino's mission to the most.
Yeah.
And also also building relationship again with the local foundations. So we don't want to, we haven't applied for the bigger grants out there, or we haven't received any government grants or support. We're starting with the community members and local foundations that believe and connect with the mission.
Yeah. And the reality is, when we do one grant for 5,000, next year we get 10,000. So we add it on until we go to the top. So that's where we're going with it. Until we get,
and that's awesome.
Funds,
And that's awesome. It doesn't alienate the community to be like, why aren't you coming to us to help, those organizations within Pauling? Then it's like, no, that's very commendable to start and reach out where you guys are from, rather than, oh, I'll get to you guys once the big guys connect with us, and then we'll see what we can do with you guys. No, you guys are doing it the opposite way, but it's not even, I feel, and you guys can disagree or agree, like it's the right way. It's the right way.
A portfolio,
Yes.
that in a business setting, it's like you can't go to a place and think you're gonna get $100,000 just by them looking at you. So we built a portfolio.
Yeah,
that's very heavy.
And we are a unique nonprofit because we did not wait for the funding to start the programs. We are doing the programs with volunteers, with our heart open. We are doing God's work. And then the funding is following us then after, right? Yeah. We have already 4 years doing youth programs, right? And the youth program, it's volunteer based. So with that,
it's like frequency, it's all frequency.
Yes.
Yeah, no, trust me, I get it. I totally relate to it, because that's the same thing with the podcast. You don't wait for the money to go. And like, I started with just the phone in my hand. I started with the little cheap mics and watching it grow, and then getting to where it is. Then that's definitely one of the ways that people need to, they just can't sit there and be like, well, I need it to be at a certain place for me to start. Like, no, you just start. You self-invest. And when people know that you're investing in yourself, you look at somebody investing in themselves like, no, I want to invest in you. And I see that a lot when you guys are moving, you guys are doing stuff, and you guys are posting up the things that you're aiming for. And like, wow, people are not like, I wouldn't believe that, but you guys have such a presence that the people supporting you, knowing, because you're like, no, we're doing this for the community, whether you're going to help me or not. And then they're like, I have to help. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's basically, and then we have another question. Which one would you like? Or what systems ensure participants don't become dependent but empowered? Or what generational cycles are you most committed to breaking through your work? Oh, I like this. Yes.
So let's take one more question, and then we'll keep going. So please go right ahead.
Yeah. So the one that says, what generational cycles are we most committed to breaking through the work that we're doing in Camino? I think that for us is very important. The fact that our main program is youth development, and through the after school program, we are speaking and creating space for teenagers to know themselves and to get connected and know their worth, right? Through our social emotional learning program. That the generational cycle is the poverty cycle. That's what we want to break, trauma cycles that are going on in this teenager's life. And we want to be able to break them at an early age. And that's why our focus is the youth, because we learn how to break the trauma cycle at a later time in our life, right? In my 30s, in his 40s. But now we want to be able, now that we have that knowledge and the tools, we want to be able to teach the young souls that are lost and waiting for guidance. And in Camino's Elevation of You after school program, we get to do that.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not only just that, like, it's reporting to the feelings that's going to happen after that, right? Like, no, we don't want to be bullied because we understand who we are. We're not going to fall into going into the streets to sell drugs because we know who we are, you know? So it's like both sides just staying in the middle and going up the right path in their lives. And that's what we're trying to do.
It's like seeing you guys in the middle of a lake with a huge boulder, throwing it in there, knowing that those ripples are just gonna never stop, and helping those to help themselves, which in turn helps others. And like, it's amazing because you guys are, hopefully you will be informed of that. When you help somebody, they help other people, they help their family members, they're just, I guess, for lack of a better term, paying it forward.
Right.
Yes.
And it all began with you identifying, like, look, we dealt with our traumas and we're still working on them. And you shouldn't have to wait decades to, like how we all had to deal with ours, like wait decades to deal with yours. Like, no, we're going to stop it. You're going to be great. And we're going to do our best to help you guys be better than what you think you're going to be. And that's amazing. I see how you guys, when you talk to the teens and everything, and when we were around you guys, and they're always be around you, and you were like, oh, they went through X, Y, and Z, and then look at them now. And these are amazing stories that more people should know about, because they can look at these teens in the community and go, oh, you're with Camino. But then when their story is heard and they're comfortable telling it, they're like, wait, you've been through what? And you're still, that's what I go through every time I do an interview, when someone has gone through something and then somebody's like, wait, hold on a second. How can you be quote unquote normal, walk around and be like you're a regular part of society, but then this is what you've gone through? A person would be in tears. They would be, inconsolable or anything like that. Like, well, I have good people around me, and you are those too.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Now, what have you learned about asking for donations in a way that still feel genuine and authentic, but not robotic, which is playing off of how you guys are cultivating the funding for your nonprofit?
Well, what we have learned is that, again, we have to be authentic, and share our stories, and build relationships, right? One of the things is that we have a donor base that is based on connection with the mission, right? Because they see the work that we're doing. And it's just telling the story that really can connect the donors to what we're doing. And that motivates people to donate and support us. Like, we have one of our biggest supported individual supporter was is a lawyer from New York City, and it was last year when we did the fundraiser, Hudson Valley Gives, which is coming up soon, and he donated. He gave $1,000 donation from the jump, and we were like,
whoa,
we were jumping because that's the first time that we were dreaming of those donors that can just give $1,000 donation, right? Yeah. And now we even just received an email of another donor that wants to give a donation that sustain, within the 5 zeros. And I even had to ask Shannon, like, oh, what does that mean, 5 zero donations? And we looked it up. We're like, oh, it means $10,000 and up. And we're like, wow, this is a dream come true. Really the fact that an idea that we started, that we wrote down on paper, and then from there we executed, and we just went to the community, started doing the work, didn't wait for funding, and now it's flourishing to be this huge platform where other people that don't even know us are believing in the mission that we created. It's just like, pinch me. I can't feel it, Yeah. And the fact that I get to do this with my lovely husband, and being aligned, is just so amazing.
It really is. I'm just.
Yeah, and Shannon, thank you for being such a upstanding gentleman with your wife, and just having her back and her having your back. And I know that's something that it can be a weight at times, because trust me, I know how it can be. And to support each other, because it's nothing better that to give back what you receive, and vice versa. It makes it all the more sweeter down the line.
It does. It really does.
Now, talking again, talking on the topic of with the donors, like, how many people prefer to donate anonymously or stay humble and low key, and what reasons have they might have shared for wanting to stay in the background, and not be, I guess, not pay the attention to themselves to say, hey, I donated to you guys. What have you encountered with those type of donations? Is it a testament to their personality, or do you encounter a lot of anonymous donors, especially at the high level? I mean, give us your perspective on that.
Yeah, I think that because I manage the whole individual donors database, I think it's just people preference, Some people are open to just put their name out there. Some other people are just private. And we do have also other some individuals that gave through their job, and it was like, it is written like you are not to disclose the donor's information. Also a lot of grants that we get, they do have like a whole disclosure that we need to follow through. It's all with guidance, guidelines, and
guidance and guidelines. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it all depends on people's decision.
No, and that's great, because a lot of people in your position are wanting to start out. They may not see the way people move, and it's, oh, I want to big you up for donating. And the people are like, no, 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 I'm good. Or like how you said, they follow in the guidelines of how they're donating through whatever intermediary. So it's a good perspective to those to know that these are some of the things that you're going to encounter when you create or run your nonprofit. So thank you for the insight.
Yeah.
How can someone who's genuinely curious about helping, maybe they've never volunteered before, start lending their time so that you can help the polling community together?
Well, the first thing is,
like, I know you got the volunteer page and everything, and how else have you gotten people? And sorry to cut you off, but have you gotten people walking up to you like, how can I help? Like, how do you manage all of that?
Yeah. So first, we are so grateful to have a virtual assistant that helps us in the back end with the operation of Camino. So when we are either in networking events or community activities that people express that they want to volunteer, we have a whole system to follow up with them and make sure that we stay connected. So the following up is a system that has also resulted, we had positive results. So people can check our website out and complete the form to become a volunteer. People can also call the library and they know about us, and through them we get a database of people also that
referrals
that wants to be volunteer. And yeah, so we are just in the community. You can reach us out to our cell phone number, and also check our website out and Instagram page.
Yeah, and even though I'll mention it later, I'll definitely put every single thing you guys want me to put up so that individuals could get connected to you. Now, this next question, it may be sensitive, because depending on how you guys address the situations, how you move and communicate, if you don't want to answer, then I'm okay with it. But with the ICE crackdowns and shifting immigration policies, how has Camino put the best interests of the community and those seeking a better life up front without putting yourselves directly in the crosshairs of this government agency?
Yeah, so I think that one of the things that we always keep in mind is that Camino Al Exito is here to serve human. We serve low-income youth and families, and that's what we stand for. we have implemented a few systems within our food distribution that allow us to continue the work that we're doing. So for example, we do not create a line outside of the church anymore.
Right.
So people can wait outside because, people have fear. There is just the entire community and the entire country is in fear of what's going on.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do is that they come in and out. At first, we had them wait inside the church, right? So we bring them in and we wait inside the church. Like literally we're having a mass, but it's not, it's not happening.
It's just people,
waiting there until we can open up.
Yeah.
But now, due to parking issues, we now have them that they just come in and out. So we are basically
blowing the
dismissing
traffic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing, minutes in between, stuff like that.
Yeah. Another system that we created is the informational workshops. We are implementing them virtual as well because a lot of people don't want to come out in person, and we understand the fear that the community is in, and we are trying our best to come up with systems that can allow us to continue the programs that we have without anyone being in
a safe atmosphere,
and
a wholehearted atmosphere, so no one is touched or hurt.
And also throughout legal services, we are able to coordinate legal consultations.
Yeah.
We gave over 200 legal consultations at no cost, where people got to find out what they qualify for so they can apply. If they qualify for an asylum, so they can apply for an asylum. And with Granny's Response and Neighbors Link, we were able to provide those services. Also, we did transportations to New York City courts to make sure that the community members that we are serving don't miss a court date because of transportation.
And not only that, get to a court date safe. Walking in those court buildings is very heart shaking. So we make sure we maintain that stability for them.
And also when it comes to the youth, we were able to secure funding to have legal representation for about 8 teenagers to have legal representation and acquire their juvenile visa before they turn 21.
Absolutely.
So this is the work, the direct work that Camino is doing in the community, and that's just with legal services. So we are trying our best.
And then not only that, we have a 360 wraparound partnership program where we, in partnership with Fidelis, MVP, you call it, wellness, whatever. We got it all. So that's what we're doing
now. I love it. How are you handling the recent upscale in media presence, especially the interview with Joe Torres on ABC's El Tiempo, and using that visibility without losing the grassroots feel of your work?
Well, being on El Tiempo was divinely. Again, networking was the number one thing for that opportunity there.
But again, we're going to highlight Coca-Cola. So shout out to Coca-Cola for getting us in the building. And we was able to meet Love Foundation, and that's where we met Joe Torres.
Yes. So the way we have managed, basically, we want to get out there. We want to show and we want to be in spaces where we can tell our stories and people can know about it. I mean, just during that day, we had over 100 people visited our website.
It was like a boom. It kept hitting it.
Yes. So now through that, we had different leads. We have people emailing us. It just gave us a lot of visibility.
Yeah.
And that's what we need for people to know our story.
Because once you get visibility, you get scalability. So then you go up, and that's what we are. We're just scaling the nonprofit to a better world.
And speaking on that, how has the nonprofit EGF Accelerator helped your cause, whether in strategy, funding, or simply believing you weren't alone in this? And how important is this guidance to your mission?
Well, let me speak for that one. I'm going to lean into that one. I think EGF had built a different type of animal within me. it was at a very vulnerable stage in my life. I just lost my job, and I was like, you know what? Let me just start the nonprofit more with my wife, because at once I wasn't really into it heavy, but then I'm like, I got to get into this. So I'm back into it, and it's just beautiful. But yeah, I I um I um I so
Yeah.
I learned a lot of strategic stuff. I connected with a lot of like heavy hitters in the game. Like, I mean, people that had 20 plus years in the game. We had mentorship through Cynthia, who is now the president of EGF. Shout out to Cynthia too. She taught us a lot about strategic work and like stop thinking like you got it, you know? So she minimized our thinking so that we can see things differently. And then I've learned so much in the 21 weeks. It built my confidence. They taught us how to pitch with, you know, certain type of audience. They even like enlightened us, like, listen, we came up 72 miles north to come get you guys. You guys are special. So that kind of gave me that spunk and that tenacity to push further with Camino.
Yes, and he also supported us with funding.
Yeah.
So because we completed the fellowship, we were awarded $5,000 donation, and even got another foundation supported us because of them. So it was very, very helpful.
Yeah.
And
well, I want to say this too, and they also paid me to go through it. So if anybody's out there and they want to go through it, and you're a nonprofit and you want your nonprofit to get more visibility, please go to EGF, because it will get you there.
I love that. I'm gonna try and do that because I got the inspiration from you guys. I'm definitely gonna try and do that with mine. And you know, it's you guys are the model for me to see where I could take mine, or at least see where RG can take it to, you know, explore her passions and helping the community with where she's at. And you guys have just been the standard for us, you know, and that's amazing to see you guys doing that. And it's I want this to spark people to be like, you know what, I can do that, I can do that, let me put in the work and see how it develops down the line without even putting a time frame to it, because it happens when it happens. People gravitate to it. You put in the work and do everything that you guys are doing to see like, oh my god, they put in the work, they put in the effort, they have the passion, they are very serious about helping the community, and they're showing us that, you know what, this isn't like a quick YouTube video of how people see a 5-minute video, but they don't see the 5 months that somebody put into it to give you 5 minutes.
Right.
You know?
Right. You know, that's true.
And to take a question from the audience, what transformational story best illustrates the ripple effect of your work? What's one of the best ones? What illustrates that?
Yeah, definitely. We can share some stories that we were able to really impact someone's life, right? So we have, within the outreach that we do for the yoga classes, we have a lot of the women that we serve. They are women that have intense job, right? Like cleaning houses, also at the farm. You know, these are women that are working. A lot of labor. Yeah, they're working over 40 hours. Then they have to come home and serve their kids. Yeah. And these women didn't have a space to release tension and to call it like, this is my self-care. Right. So through building a partnership with Yoga Wellness in Pauline, we were able to create a space that now these women that are really tense and even in the verge of, you know, mental health, with the suffering of depression, self-doubt, you know, a lot of knee pain that they had, you know, knee pain. Now the result are that because they have attended the yoga classes, these women are empowered. These women are flexible. They release tension. Yeah. They came out of depression. And even through the women's circle that we had with RG, these women didn't know themselves. They didn't find community within them. They didn't know that they belong. And the testimonials that we got is that thanks to these spaces that we're creating, these women feel like they belong.
Yeah.
And it's impacting them in their mental health, and it's impacting them overall. So that's one of the biggest aha moment that we have.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's, I mean, you lit the room up. RG lit the room up. We had about 36 women that she hosted, and she killed it. So we talk about data. You got to give it the props with that one. So RG did a good job with that one.
Can you remind her of it, because this is something that she needs to chase and do, and I held it down for her with the home and the family so she can go up there and be in support of you guys, be in support of these women. I've been up there.
Thank you.
You guys asked me to try and do the English classes and everything, and even though that didn't pan out, it panned out with RG with the women's groups, and it was amazing. She comes home, she's like, I'm tired, but I feel amazing. I feel good. I feel like I've actually made a difference. And even if a few people will come in, a lot of people will come in, and it's like it kept growing and growing, and she got so excited to be like, I want to go back up there. I have this idea, do the flowers and everything else. She did the thing with the affirmation cards, and it was getting her wheels moving to be like, there's something in me that I'm finally able to display and help others. And when they would come back and tell her stories about, you gave me the confidence to do this, or this happened because you gave me the positivity to approach my life in a different way. And it's all because of you guys giving her the space to do that, and her jumping at it to be like, wow, so all this interconnectedness, it doesn't go unseen.
Yeah. And also, and I want to add that the beauty of this is that we are able to do this work through the nonprofit, which allow access, because not for nothing, but investing in yourself, healing, it's a lot of money that you need to invest in it, right? To attend a women's circle, you need to pay a fee, and who knows if you have the money or you don't have the money. Yeah. But in Camino, we take that barrier off, and we make sure that we create access to resources, and these women's circles are accessible to the audience that we serve. And we have a program, it's Pay What You Can. We envision to implement this program that people are just paying what they can. They're giving a donation, right? But it's, and if you don't have it today, it's okay. But if you feel like giving a donation for $2 the next session, we welcome that. We promote that, right? So that's one of the way that we promote, we empower people, right?
And yeah, not only that, we can't not talk about the church. So the partnership with the church really held, a lot of grounds for us as far as the food distribution and the women's circle. So we want to actually give a shout out to Trinity Church as well too.
Yes.
Yeah. I met the pastor. He's a very good guy, and it's a welcoming. And you guys have linked up with the such the nicest people, and it's a welcoming space. And to see what you guys have done, for the community through them with all these partnerships has been amazing. And the thing of doing it donation based, because somebody can be skeptical, like, wait, I have to pay to heal myself. Like, I have to pay to put myself in a good space to feel community or X, Y, and Z. That's very commendable to do, like, donation based. And whoever's hearing this, I implore you, once they get back into the seasons of doing this, join these groups. I've heard nothing but amazing stories. People come in a little skeptical, they leave a little stronger each and every time. And that's amazing, because where can they get that? And a lot of times they can't even get that in their own home.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Now, for future volunteers and partners listening, beyond money, what kind of skills, professions, or lived experiences do you most need around the table right now?
Well, I say that if you have an open heart and you discover your purpose in life, and you discover that you want to serve, Camino is the place to be.
Absolutely.
And is there any sort of space that you're trying to fill immediately, or are you just trying to hit all gears when they're able to be filled?
So right now we're focusing on the youth.
Yeah.
And we do have opportunities to volunteers, to volunteer where is coordinating events for the youth. We have an event committee also that you can become a volunteer and help out with coordinating Hispanic Heritage Celebration in September. So if you have any coordinating planning skills, we welcome you because RG is actually our coordinator for that committee, but we do need a team of like-minded people that wants to serve and connect with the mission to implement this festival and make sure that we create community.
Yeah, and not only that, like even the after school program, we're gonna take in some coordinators who are in college for mental health or whatever, and we can sit down and talk to them. They want to get involved with Camino or talk to the youth. We can get them in some circles and we can talk about some things that can help the youth too as well. So
awesome. Now, when you imagine Camino Al Exito's future, what do you hope feels different in Pauling and the surrounding communities because this nonprofit exists?
Presence, right?
Yeah, presence. Belongingness.
That's the biggest thing. We were, helping a very vulnerable, humanity place at the time. These people didn't see themselves, and we was like, you're seen now. So we're showing everybody in Pauling who we are, and it's a big now it's a mixed like melting pot. It's just like brown, white, Chinese, whatever. It's just beautiful up here now.
That's why I love doing these interviews, and God bless the people who have their own short time, but to get all this information, get the details, get the nuances, it shines way more light on your mission. And this is something that from all the things that you do, like the turkey drives, and how even my son, who was a part of it, helping out, because my wife didn't have to drag him. He wanted to come through and help, and seeing how happy he was helping, because it was Brandon, and he's a sweetheart, he has a big heart, and there's always that piece of him that wants to help, and he had that ability through you guys to do that. So you guys have blessed my family with that, everything that you bring to the table with Camino. Yeah. Now, lastly, let us know where they can find you, and I'll make sure for the podcast interview post to link all necessary sites, etc., so those watching can connect with you to help in any way possible for this mission to help the community.
Yeah, so the first thing is you can search on Google Camino Al Exito, which means the road to success. We are the road to success. Yeah. And like Shannon says also, you have a phrase about voices. About the voices. We are the voice.
Oh, we are the voice to the voices, But also, if you go to that website, go down a little bit and hit that donation button too. Let's get some money in there. Let's get some programs on for these kids.
Yes.
That's right.
You can go into www.caminoalexitopfa.org. You can also find us on Instagram, Camino Al Exito PFA. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Inginia, for blessing me with your time, blessing me with your mission, and how in whatever way it's connected to my family, and you guys are family to us, and it's just an amazing thing on how the reach you guys, or at least how longer the reach is getting to what you guys are doing, and it is amazingly commendable. You guys have an awesome heart, and I will do anything and everything to make sure that this is put out there so that people can know that people like you actually exist to help the community. This isn't just some fly by night story that they're, oh, okay, they're doing good. Well, If somebody's doing good, let's hear how they're doing good. Let's not just focus on all the bad stuff. And I want to commend both of you for all the hard work. One, of how you guys have worked on yourselves, worked with each other, now working with the community. And, it's a blessing that you're doing this now with 2 children. You just had a baby. You just gave birth. And then to do that, and while you having your careers, and it's just, people need to know that how you work your magic, it's a reality, and it can be done.
Yes,
it can be. But like my wife said, but sometimes it's like truly in partnership, and believing in each other and pushing each other up to the top. So I believe in partnership in marriage. So that's very, very important.
Very well said. And I'll leave on that. Thank you guys very much. And I guess I'll see you when I see you, but I always have Camino in my heart and making sure that you guys are being the best version of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Oscar, for having us.
Thank you, Oscar. That was an impactful episode. If you've ever looked around your town and thought, my people need help, Shannon and Inginia are proof that someone might be you. We heard how Camino started with showing up at local events, listening to parents, kids, and slowly building programs that meet real needs, from wellness, education to belonging, long before the cameras and national TV showed up. Their journey through the EGF Accelerator also shows what happens when community passion meets training, funding, and belief. If their story stirred you, ask what road to success you could help pave in your community, and let this be your launchpad to begin small and continue to grow. Adelante, siempre, por tu mente. Forward, always for your mind. This is the FY I Am Damaged podcast.
In a bright green jungle where the tall trees sway, lived a little elephant who felt big fins. Every day Logan loved to splash and play by the river's side, but sometimes wobbly legs made him wanna run and hide. Tummy doing flips like a stormy shaking drum. A tiny voice inside him whispered, what if I can't have fun? Then Brandon the wise monkey smiled from the tree, said, little friend, take a breath, come and sit with me. Feel your feet on the ground, feel your hand on your heart. We're breathing together, that's how courage starts. I am strong, I am safe, I can do this. Breathe it in slow, let it out with a wish. When my mind feels wiggly like a monkey in the trees, I calm my heart down with my breath and my knees. I am strong, I am safe, I can do this. Step by step forward through this, scared and know what if. Even when my tummy feels funny and tired, I can still be brave, I can still shine bright. Next day in the jungle they played a game of tag. Logan felt the nervous pull, his body started to drag, but he remembered Brandon and the tools he had inside. Took a deep gentle breath instead of running off to hide. Breathe in the sunshine, breathe out all the fear. Stomped his big elephant feet and felt his courage appear. With the wiggle of his trunk and a lap so free, whispered to himself, there's a lion heart in me. His friends saw him smiling as he joined in the game. They asked, Logan, what's your secret? You don't look the same. He said, when my thoughts get loud, I don't have to stay small. I breathe and move my body and I stand up tall. I am strong, I am safe, I can do this. Breathe it in slow, let it out with a wish. When my mind be wiggly like a monkey in the trees, I calm my heart down with my breath and my knees. I am strong, I am safe, I can do this. Step by step forward through the scared and oh what if. Even when my tummy feels funny and tight, I can still be brave, I can still shine bright. Little heart listening, So breathe in slowly, feel your feet on the floor. Let your shoulders soften, you don't need to. Whisper to yourself when the worries rush through. I am strong, I am safe, and I know what to do. I am strong, I am safe, I can do this. Breathe in slow, lay it out with a wish when my mind feels wiggly like a monkey in the trees. Like I'm hard down with my breath and my knees. I am strong, I assist, I can do this step by step forward through the skin and know what it is. Logan showed the jungle and now you show the world. There's a strong-minded hero in every boy and girl in the bright green jungle. When the stars shine above, brave little hearts fall asleep feeling safe and loved.